The following is the weekly weather briefing from your National Weather Service office in Spokane, Washington. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Fox. So taking a look at the weather forecast for the week ahead, starting with today and Tuesday, we're looking for dry and unseasonably cool weather to continue. We're looking for more low temperatures in the teens across many valley locations, with highs around normal or slightly above normal for this time of year. For the Wednesday through Friday period, a weak weather disturbance will track into the area from the north-northwest. It'll likely bring snow to the mountains and a snow-rain mix to the valleys. The big question right now is how much snow are we expecting? For the weekend, we get into a drier pattern, but it will be cool with another surge of Canadian air moving into the inland northwest. And looking far ahead to next Monday, another weather system moves in from the north, which could bring more snow. But another question is how much? And it doesn't look like a strong system right now. So let's look at the upper level pattern for the next few days, starting with tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning, and we're looking at the main storm track is denoted by these blue arrows. So the main storm track right now remains over central Canada into the Great Lakes area, as well as another storm track over the desert southwest. For the inland northwest, we're looking at a high pressure ridge, which has brought us our dry and sunny conditions. And we also look at a storm system right now over the Gulf of Alaska. This storm system will be tracking over the top of the ridge and will impact our weather a little later in the week. But in the meantime, we're looking at more dry seasonal weather, cool low temperatures and mild high temperatures. And again, we're looking for that Gulf of Alaska low to move into our area later on. In fact, by the time we get into the late Wednesday and Friday time period, it looks like that low pressure area is going to be tracking down the British Columbia coast and then eventually off the Washington and Oregon coast as well. As it moves through, it's going to bring us a chance of snow over the mountain locations as well as a mix of rain and snow in the valleys. With the track remaining this far off the coast, we expect this to be a fairly minor or moderate impact system. Looks like snows are expected primarily over the mountains, and in the valleys we're looking at a mix of rain and snow. Just how much precipitation we're looking at right now remains uncertain. However, again, this is not a major event. Looks like our confidence is fairly high that the heaviest precipitation amounts are going to occur near the Cascades, with some areas receiving anywhere from 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch near the Cascade crest. As you get farther across eastern Washington and North Idaho, those totals are much smaller, with anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch down here over the Blue Mountains. Again, our confidence is high that the heaviest precipitation amounts are going to fall in this area, with lighter amounts out here. However, we're not quite certain it'll be quite this low as we're looking out toward the Spokane area, the Palouse and Coeur d'Alene area. We don't necessarily believe that no precipitation is going to fall. So, what do we believe at the Weather Service right now? And if we take a look at our snow forecast for now, here's what we're penciling in for Wednesday through Friday. For these areas in light blue, we're expecting anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow, but that assumes that the snow which falls is going to be able to accumulate on the roads and sidewalks. And up to this point, it hasn't been a very easy occurrence because the road temperatures have been getting so warm of late due to the late February, early March sun that if the snow falls during the day, much of this won't accumulate except on the grassy surfaces. Again, we also think that these totals are probably a little bit on the high side, especially for the Spokane area, Sandpoint, Pullman area. We'd expect to see maybe up to an inch of snow over most of these locations. Again, it'll have a hard time accumulating except over the mountains. Where our forecast is more consistent or more confidence would be here near the Cascades, where we're expecting anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow to fall, with some heavier amounts over the higher mountains. This will impact Snoqualmie Pass and Stevens Pass, especially by the time we get to Thursday and Thursday night. So looking ahead past that low pressure system then dives into California, and it's replaced with a colder but drier surge of air moving out of Canada. That'll bring us more sunshine to the inland northwest. It'll also bring low temperatures back into the teens and 20s. It could also get a little breezy, especially down the Okanagan Valley and from Sandpoint to Coeur d'Alene to Spokane, as the northeast winds filter that colder air into the area. So, as a little teaser, what we're looking at for next Monday and into early next week, that cold, dry air could be intercepted by a weak system moving out of Canada. This will be a very quick mover. However, if it does bring precipitation, most of it will fall as snow because the colder temperatures will be in place. Again, it's not a very strong system. It looks like it's a fast mover, with the brunt of the activity occurring to the eastern side of the Continental Divide over eastern and central Montana as well as the prairie provinces of Canada. Here's a outlook at the temperatures that we're expecting for the upcoming week. You see that high temperatures are denoted here in the red line. Normal temperatures are in the red dotted line. So for the next few days, our temperatures are going to be at or slightly above normal, and that'll continue through the end of the week. Then as that cooler, drier air begins to move in, those high temperatures fall below normal, and our low temperatures begin to drop as well, and we're looking at low temperatures in the lower 20s around Spokane easily. Temperatures in the teens across the northern valleys of Washington and North Idaho by the time we get to the weekend. Same thing with the Wenatchee area. Again, continued warm at least through the end of the week, and then temperatures falling off by the weekend. And again, as denoted by these green bars, the best chances for precipitation will occur from late Wednesday and into Friday. Again, the system does not look very strong at this time. Quickly looking ahead at the 8 to 14 day outlook for temperatures, we're looking at near normal temperatures near the Cascades and below normal temperatures across most of the inland northwest, at least a 35 to 40% chance of those below normal temperatures. And as far as precipitation goes, it looks drier than normal as well for those 8 to 14 days, which will take us into the first week of March. Just an interesting little graphic here, which is showing what temperatures we've seen through March thus far, and it looks like the areas in red are where temperatures have been above normal, and temperatures in blue are where readings have been below normal. And you see that there's an even split right through the center of the country, with the western United States being much warmer than normal and the eastern United States being much cooler than normal. So, impacts for the upcoming week, today through Tuesday, no impacts expected. For Wednesday through Friday, we're looking at that weak system dropping down the coast. It'll bring snow. Confidence is moderate to high that it'll impact the passes, especially near the Cascades, and we could see some winter travel conditions, especially from Thursday into early Friday. For the valleys, our confidence is low that there'll be any impact. We will expect to see some snow. However, there's a question whether or not it'll be able to accumulate on the roads due to our warm temperatures. In fact, the best chances for accumulations would be on grassy surfaces. For the weekend, no impacts are expected. However, it will turn cooler, and we could see some breezy conditions for Saturday and Sunday. Again, for our latest forecast, please visit our webpage at weather.gov/Spokane. You can also look for our latest updates on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching this briefing, and we look forward to talking with you next week.